Hi, I'm Wade Mitchell. Today we're going to be going over a proposal to offer an alternative web design and development internship. Join with me. I'll also have Lauren Lockridge and Dave Nielsen. Um, and also we have a set of slides that correspond with this presentation. So if you can just follow along with the attached slides. And when we say next slide, you'll know that you can switch over to the next slide to follow along. So to start out, we have our purpose. BYU Idaho's Web Design and Development degree offers many options to students, but a lot of these students are not able to complete traditional internships. And so our proposal will provide two alternative options to the internship requirement. The project option that we have first will require completion of a professional website, which provides experience for students to prepare for their career. We're also going to have a waiver option, which allows students to bypass the internship requirement by meeting specific circumstances. Next slide. So to start with the project option, we'll have a faculty advisor will assign participants to a team that will work together to complete at least one detailed and highly functional website. As a supervisor and mentor, the faculty advisor will fill the role of an employer for the team members who will function just as if they were employees. So the employee pool, which will be drawn from eligible student participants, these eligible students will be required to submit a resume and participate in the interview process. And if more applicants exist than program openings, the participants will be selected through the interview process. Just like in real life, each participant will have a specific role to play based on their major emphasis. So these roles will include, but they're not limited to, a designer, front-end developer, and a back-end developer. Participants will be expected to coordinate efforts and support each other to achieve goals as a team. Participants of the program will be expected to act as if they were employees for a genuine business. These responsibilities will include completion of assigned portions of work prior to deadlines established by the faculty supervisor. Each student is expected to spend a minimum of 100 hours working on the project. On to the waiver option now. We'll also have a faculty member that will be required to evaluate all applications for a waiver. This will be for students who meet established criteria, and the ones that want to do this will be required to submit a proposal for a waiver. The proposal must meet all established criteria and persuade the faculty supervisor that the applicant has the necessary skills and experience to succeed in the workplace. Acceptable evidence will include, but not be limited to, proof that the applicant has created functioning websites for hire or is currently employed in the technology field. Next slide. So why do we need this alternative to the current required internship? There are two reasons, and they correlate with each other. The first problem is the graduation rates. BYU Idaho currently has a lower than average graduation rate. In fact, BYU Idaho graduation rates are 6.6% below the national average. The second reason that we'll need an alternative to the traditional internship is because of the rapid increase in online students. I'll go over this in the next slide. This increase is likely to result in further reduction of graduation rates if an alternative to the internship requirement is not established. So next slide. So this is the second reason. Because of the online growth, our campus enrollment has increased 3.9% in 1 year. This is between the period of fall 2013 and fall 2014. Meanwhile, our online enrollment, as you can see on our graph here, has increased 57.4% in that same time. The problem this creates is that many of the online students at BYU Idaho, for many of them, the completion of a traditional internship is not feasible. Online students have chosen to enroll in these online classes many times because they already have full-time jobs, they run businesses, they're homemakers, or they're engaged in other activities that prevent them from attending campus classes. Most of these students cannot reasonably complete a traditional internship. Online students do not have the advantages of what the campus students who are able to go to the BYU Idaho career fairs, as well as participate in the organized trips to career fairs and businesses. These campus advantages increase internship opportunities for campus students. And while there is nothing that there's nothing like this that is facilitated for the online student. The alternative project options that we are presenting will help online students gain experience and provide an alternative to an internship that will allow greater flexibility with scheduling, but will still provide valuable experience. There are also online students who have they've already gathered the needed skills and experience in the workplace, or they're already currently employed in the field of study. So for these students in this group, an internship would be counterproductive. Such students should be given the opportunity to be granted a waiver. Next slide.
So as Wade mentioned, the online degree, and because of other situations that students find themselves placed in, there arises a need for an alternative to the traditional on-campus internship through employment, traditional employment. And so our goal is to create this project-based internship alternative and have a pilot program scheduled for the spring 2015 semester. So option one, as Wade described earlier, was the project-based, which is a course that will help them gain experiences similar to what they would find in the workplace. We'll develop criteria for at least 5 projects, possibly more, depending on the type of load that each project would bring. The faculty would create waypoints, a timeline, a rubric, and use common industry roles such as front-end designer, a back-end programmer, or other similar titles that you would find in a workplace setting, as well as establish a team environment that you would find in a career. The second option is to waive the internship, and we would try to make that available by winter of 2015, this coming semester. And we would determine the eligibility for this waiver based upon preset criteria. So as Wade mentioned, many students who are online have already or are currently working in the field in various capacities, and so in a setting like that, it could be possible for that student to waive their internship requirement because it's already been fulfilled most likely by that point. For example, myself working in a job as a web and marketing designer at an internet service provider, I would be able to fulfill those internship requirements without having to take extra or unnecessary steps through the course that is now established. The plan would be to adapt the business projects internship model from the business department. Philip Wheatley, Evan Caldwell, Shane Thompson, and the CIT department head or other leadership would collaborate with the business projects internship model and create a similar model for the CIT or web design majors. They would create job descriptions which would further help simulate a work environment where we could place the student into a specific description such as web designer, and they could fulfill a job description. This team would also develop other deadlines, requirements, design briefs, and other things as needed to help create a project-based curriculum that would also simulate a real-world working environment. The deployment schedule would create a pilot in spring 2015, and through that pilot program, a lot of the issues that may arise, and receive student and instructor feedback that would help us improve this program and have it ready for this accredited degree. As you can see in this deployment schedule bar graph on slide 14, we have listed here the different, sorry, I'm having difficulty reading this, the image got stretched. This is a Gantt chart. It's depicting the deployment schedule for the project option, and we have begin and end dates for the different criteria for this. The budget required for this would be minimal. There would be small administrative costs associated with it that could be covered by a course fee, So no additional increase in tuition is required. Course development can be done by students who are enrolled at BYU Idaho and other majors that require project-based degrees, and there are many of those that could be fulfilled. So that could be done for free by other students. Volunteer mentors who are already on the mentorship list at the school could provide feedback, as well as any assistance that they could provide to students, and help provide a professional who could give them feedback and simulate what would otherwise be their boss in their position at work, and help create for them someone who can give them a type of sorry, I lost the word. It would be someone that they could go to who could give them feedback and give them their experience and how they can improve to prepare themselves for a real position and make themselves marketable for a future job.
My name is Lauren Lockridge, as Wade stated at the beginning of the presentation, and I'm starting on slide 16 just in case you missed a step. Personnel and qualifications. This is a huge part of making this proposal function and actually work. Qualifications is a massive part of these personnel. So we'll be going over administration, instructors, mentors, students that their role is defined for the project portion, and then also students as their role is defined for the waiver portion. So next slide on to 17. Want to point out the administration will currently be the same person who is over internship, which is Shane Thompson, and he will coordinate for web design and develop. He coordinates for web design and development, and will continue his role. With the addition of proposed internship alternatives, he will also receive support from the project instructors and mentors that we will talk about. Now, his main role is just to oversee the functioning of this proposal and this project to make sure that things go smoothly, and he's the man on top that everyone will run it through. Slide 18, next slide. Instructors. Also a very crucial role. These will work a little bit closer to the actual students as they do their work, but still we're thinking just one to start with. They will be pulled from the actual CIT department. So faculty, they'll work as advisors during the program trials, and upon program implementations, the number of faculty required will be determined by the number of eligible participants. So if we have more participants than are expected, that will thus require a larger amount or a greater amount of instructors. So we'll go on to the next slide with the mentors. Now, mentors will work directly with these students to get their internships done. Their key is crucial, and they will help simulate that situation that a student who can go through a normal means of internship would actually, they help simulate that actual feel of an internship so that these students can learn and grow from their experience, which is ultimately what we want. They will be individuals who are good at teaching or mentoring, and they'll need to manage at least teams of 3 individuals. Next slide. This goes on to students, and this is the project student. So in order to qualify, there's a few things that need to happen. First off, full-time students on campus will not qualify. They will take the original intern that is currently in the curriculum. Eligible students must own a business or be working full-time, nearing completion of coursework, and they must also have senior level credits. And what this does is just ensure that it's not a free ride, but that it is actually being used and implemented for the correct students. Other reasons would be developed as the program does. So it would be assessed on a step-by-step basis. Next slide, which is 22, is the student waiver. So this is the option where students would be able to sign out based on their current experience or working experience. And this one also has some key defining points. Once again, full-time students would not qualify for this waiver. It would be for online students, and once again, under certain circumstances that they would qualify. Students must be at a senior level credits, must be nearing completion of coursework, and prove the possession of skills that one would acquire in these internships. So they have to go through a series of testing or a process of determining if these students are actually in possession of the skills they would need or that they would learn through an intern. They would achieve this acceptance waiver by, and so here to be more specific, they would achieve it by proving that they have built and received payment for some clients in a web design and built at least 3 of their websites. That's the standard we've set. Doesn't mean it's set in stone, but that's what we would propose. Next slide, which is 24, facilities and equipment. So we're on to the next section, consisting of, we propose that we would use existing facilities, and the next defining point would just be the participants of that. So slide 25. There's no need to get any extra facilities for this. We've got plenty of room and technologies on campus that we could use. So there's no need there. That would avoid certain costs and would be handy. We would need computer with high internet, very basic things, headphones, microphones, things like that, just for communication purposes. Once again, this is based off of online learning, so those things are kind of a given. Next slide, 26. The participants, just want to point out, participants are responsible for providing their own workspace and all the necessary equipment and materials for this task. So we move on to the next slide. It is the end of our presentation, and we just want to tie in the importance of this proposal, that it is what we would see as necessary, and it would be very simple to implement, and hope that you gather the same. Thank you.